It's raining. Been raining like hell all morning. I wasn't gonna go, then I changed my mind. I was like, hell with it. There's gonna be like a 3-hour break in rain. Lake come up, looks like a little bit. There's my dog. He's ready to go. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna go out, sit on this brush pile in the rain. So I know there's a lot of y'all that want to know where I go when I fish Pawnee. I put it in a bottle for landing. It's 12 miles away from my house. I go out like I'm headed toward the main lake. I turn left, I go up to Pawnee River. That's where I fish at. It's a short commute, it's easy to get to. There's some brush piles going back down that bank that have got massive schools of crappie on them this time of year. During the winter, they do too. So, you know, they'll pass up. Let me get the boat untied. Let's get to moving. So let's start making our move. Good thing about fishing a nasty rainy day like this, I've seen one other boat. That's it, period, none. I pretty much got the whole lake to myself today. Actually looks really muddy after that rain yesterday. Well, let's go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can do first cast, one fish. That's what I'm using today right there. 16th ounce, hand-tied jig with that little spinner on it. Let's do it. I think we can do it. So we are going to be testing these fish. Whoa, the Patriot. My favorite. My new favorite. All right, so right there's my brush pile. About 40 foot away from the boat. You see there's fish on it mixed in the brush. We're gonna give the trolling motor a little bump and then we're gonna move that way. Let's see what happens. Let's try it again. This one changing. All right, let's try it again. So many fish. Could be color. Color makes I think, a huge difference sometimes. On some crankbaits. The downsides, we're gonna go to 64th. I'm gonna do one more up here by that stump. If I ain't got one on this one, we're going to 60. Sometimes when you're chasing shad, sometimes the best bite is gonna be your crankbait bite, I think. I think we're gonna have a hard time getting them to eat anything today. It didn't work. Hitting that brush pile with the live scope, it didn't work. So I'm swapping, and I want to do it pretty quick too. We're going to switch over. We're going to start pulling the bandit crankbaits. We're going to run down this bank out that way and try to hit the channel. Is it going to work? I don't know. There is so many shad right now that I would be amazed if anything would bite right now. But here we go. We're going to give it a try. The outlaw rods, 2 10-foot rods, 2 12-foot rods. Boom, both sides of the boat. Let's do it. whatever you do when you're pulling crankbaits, don't make it out to be that hard. It's really not. You see, I got 2 rods on this side. I got 2 rods on this side. And we have got a lot of debris in the water. So this is going to be a little trickier than I thought. Those storms yesterday dumped a lot of rain. It dumped it really quick. This morning, same thing. We had a lot of rain again this morning. We probably had a good over an inch. I could tell the lake's muddy. A little more than murky. Not muddy, but it's definitely got a color to it. Don't make this hard. Some 200 series bandits, some 300s. Right now we're running all 300s because it looks like the majority of the crappie I've seen were down 10, 12 foot, 13 foot. Let's just try and see what happens. I'll turn the camera right back on as soon as we get our first one. And here's another thing too about this morning. It is so humid. I don't think it would be this humid if we were dragging crankbaits on the Amazon River. I mean, that is no joke. There is 0 wind, total cloud cover, sweat just running off my face, and I'm not doing nothing. Even the boat moving at 1.3 miles an hour, I still got sweat rolling off of me. But this is a good way to fish in the summertime. It's a good way to keep moving. It's a good way. Pay attention to your electronics. You'll go over top brush piles. You'll go over top tree stumps. You didn't even know were there if you're paying attention to your electronics. Doing this, know where you're at. Know your electronics. Know what you're seeing under the water. You don't want to accidentally end up running up on like a 2-3 foot flat or a big stump field. Truman's a bad one. Truman, you need to know where you're at in a channel on Truman before you do this. Or you're going to be buying a lot of bandits. And I've bought lots of bandits because of that reason. Down that bank, we ain't got one. That's not a good sign. But we just started, so let's keep going. One thing I just noticed, once I got the boat moving, got my big unit turned on, I noticed a very definitive thermocline down to like 15 foot, 13 to 15 foot. If you're running a crankbait that's running down into that thermocline, you're wasting your time. So I'm gonna switch over and start running the 200s and see if I can get up above that thermocline and see if that makes a difference. With all that rain, I didn't think I would see a thermocline. That was the last thing I thought I'd see today, but it's definitely there. Without a doubt, it's there. Sometimes it can help. Sometimes it eliminates all that water. That is the reason all of our shad are so at the top right now. There's no oxygen down deep. So the shad are, like I said this morning, it was a weird time of day to see this many shad on top. But that's what I believe is going on. I think the thermocline has got them all pushed to the top, and all largemouth bass are feeding on them. I think I even seen a catfish a few minutes ago right beside the boat. Everything's up. The lake's up, but the thermocline is definitely there. Keep that in mind. Watch on your unit. Most all units, even cheap units, will show you a thermocline. Stay above the thermocline. It's not worth it if your baits are going under that thermocline. Oh, I think we got one. Yeah, we definitely got one. It changed things. Get him up top, get him skinned. I think it could be, let's see. Truman tuna on Palm de Terre. But that just goes to show you that going from the 300s to the 200s did produce a fish. Whether it's not the fish I wanted, but that did prove to me that the fish are higher in the water column than what the 300s were doing. The 300s were going too deep. All the fish were above where the 300s were running. Swap your baits out, swap them out. So while we're on this subject of the thermocline, let me show you what I'm talking about. It is a very definitive line, and I'm gonna show you how to identify that right here. See that line? 16 foot, somewhere, 16, 17 foot, that is a thermocline. I had to do this video because people were going to say, oh, there's no thermocline yet on Palmy. Yes, there is. I'm on the Palmy arm. That is a very, very definitive thermocline line right there. And definitely a very definitive thermocline. Nothing under it. Everything's up above it. Those are all the schools of shad. Oh, fish on. Yuck! It happens this time of year. It's usually telling me I'm pretty close to being done pulling crankbaits when all I've caught are trimming tuna. Is what it is. But the 200s did make a difference. We just haven't hit a school of crappie yet. Will we? Hard to say. But we ain't giving up yet. All right, we got another one on the 12 foot. Let's go see what we got. Hopefully it's not a trimming tuna. We got it. We're in the channel. We're running the channel. I tell you, whatever it is, it's pretty big. And it was a drum, but it spit it out right when it got to the edge of the boat. It's fine, I ain't got to fool with it. All right, this right here is what's going to happen today. And there it is. I got forward-facing sonar, and I did not put not even one crappie in the boat. They are on brush piles. They are thick. They are on the bottom, and I cannot get them to move. The humidity is so thick, you can cut it with the knife. I just looked at the radar, and I got a storm getting ready to hit me that I'll be lucky if I make it back to the boat ramp. I'm seeing boats flying down the lake, headed back to their boat ramps. I'm going to end this video, and some days it is just like that. That's just the way it works. They didn't want a 32nd ounce jig. They didn't want a 64th, a 16th, an 8th. They didn't want crankbaits, hand-tied baits, plastic baits. I couldn't even get them to chase. The only thing I could catch today were drum. Period. That was it. I was going to just edit this and delete it and do another one next week, but no, this is it. This is how it goes sometimes. That storm gets scarier looking. I don't see no lightning with it, though. I ain't heard no thunder. I see other boats coming up the lake. So I'm ending this. Like, share, subscribe, comment. You all know there are days like this on the lake. Just, it is so still, so calm. The air is just dead and heavy. You could cut it with a knife. The humidity is so bad. Even had to change shirts. Had to put on something a little more breathable. But that's just the way it rode today. So until next time, next week probably I'll do another video. I will see you later.